Hello everybody, welcome to the PT Chronicles podcast, season 2. Now my first guest is David Templar, PT and content creator. David, welcome. Thanks for coming on. Can you go a little bit more, mate, into what does that mean by content creator?
Essentially, it's me not wanting to call myself an influencer. Basically, I create content. My aim is to educate, motivate, inspire, and entertain people through content online, whether that's food, fitness, fashion, lifestyle. Basically, I just want to document my life, monetize it, and give somebody some sort of feeling along the way of doing it.
Amazing. That's multi-talented. So, jack of all, what would you say was your best skill out of all of those?
Honestly, I'm master of none. Honestly, fake it till you make it. The whole cooking stuff is, I believe, if you can read, you can cook. And a lot of the stuff that I make, I've never made before. I'm just reading recipes and showing people that it's easy to do it. Because I think people often think they need to make drastic changes to their lifestyle. They need to eat broccoli and rice. You don't. Just have a little play around with it. And I'm trying to show people that as the average person, I'm doing it, so you can do it too.
Little small changes. Nice. So, David, you listen to the PT Chronicles, but just to explain to everyone what it's about, I've been chronicling my career from the start of my personal training career right up through the 13 years, and season 1 covered up to 2 years. But what I want from you, Temps, is one chronicle, one story, whether it's tragic, successful, heartbreaking, romantic, something from your personal training career that defines who you are. So what story have you got for us today, mate?
My whole PT career has been up and down roller coaster, but to give context, I have got a marketing degree. I worked in a marketing role for 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
And I was sat at a desk thinking, this isn't for me. So I took a year off to go traveling, started documenting my traveling, and I did a workout every day for a year with the hashtag 365 days a hit.
Workout every day?
Every day for a year while I was traveling.
How long were they?
They were between like 20 minutes and 45-minute hit sessions that I was doing.
All live and
all
online?
Documented, all on Instagram, and that's when I started to build a following, because I was doing like workouts in front of Machu Picchu, Christ the Redeemer, things like that. So people were interested in the traveling and the fitness stuff at the same time. So I actually built a following doing that, went back to my job, and I was like, fuck this, I can't do this for the rest of my life. So started putting plans in place to make fitness my job.
Yeah.
Got my PT qualification, which was just sort of like a tick list, because I'd done gymnastics my whole life.
Who did you do it with?
I actually...
It was the course. I did it with the training room.
The one that I did, they handed me a defamation case because I said they were really, really shit. And they didn't give me my qualification certificate until I put it on Instagram. And then like that, they gave it to me and handed me the defamation case.
Wow.
So I'm not going to say the name, but it was a very, very bad one.
Well, to be honest with you, David, like a lot of them, they aren't that good. Like the one I did, the training room, I've talked about it before. I had an amazing teacher. The syllabus itself was terrible. Doesn't prep you for real life personal training. You've got there's no way that you can take that course and go straight into being a PT. You've got so much to learn after that. But luckily, I had this great trainer who taught us and went off the syllabus, and kind of gave us the real life experience. And his name was Brian Walpole. So Brian, if you're listening, mate, thank you. Continue, Temps.
Brian. So I kind of got my PT qualification. I was doing the cooking stuff at the same time online. There was a guy who was ridiculously rich back from my hometown in Portsmouth. He was on Forbes Rich List under 30s, and he was looking for a chef and personal trainer. So
just to work with him.
I'll show you his gym. It's ridiculous. He's got like a separate kitchen for the chef and indoor. Like he's super rich, super rich. Anyway, so that opportunity came up. They said to me, "Do you know anybody who's a chef and a PT?" And I was like, "I'm looking for a career change anyway. I'll give it a go." Bearing in mind, I was like a marketing manager at the time, earning decent money. I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to take a career change. So I had a 2-month notice at my work, managed to get that down to 10 days, moved back to Portsmouth, asked my dad if I could live with him just while I was setting up.
So where was the marketing role? Was that London?
The marketing role was in London.
Right.
Yeah, working for O2.
So you went back to Portsmouth?
Packed up my life in London and moved back to Portsmouth. And bearing in mind, this is at the age of 27. So it's not, people at this age are having kids, wives, they're making big career choices, and I'm going back to do what I love doing. Anyway, this guy runs a festival on the south coast in Portsmouth, and he'd invited me there the weekend before I was supposed to start this job. So I'm there in this VIP tent, there's alcohol flowing everywhere, all of his mates are there, and somebody come up to me and said, I hear that you're Chris's new gardener. And I was like, good one, like I didn't actually get it. And then somebody else said it to me. I was thinking, what's going on here?
Alarm bells.
And then the third person said it to me, and I was like, Chris, why is everyone saying I'm your new gardener? And he like giggled to himself. And I was thinking, what are you laughing at? And he said, oh yeah, I don't need a chef and PT anymore. Oh. And I was like, you do realise I've just quit my career that I've got a degree in, that I'd worked at the company for 6 years to come and work for you, and you just like that have told me you don't need a PT.
And the notice is served. You're gone.
And the notice is served. And I'm too proud to go back to my job and be like, oh, this hasn't worked out. Can I have my job back? I'd also obviously got rid of my rent in London, moved back home with my dad, and I was like, fuck, I'm actually going to have to be a gardener here. So the funny bit about
so
it
you
was...
were the gardener.
I was the gardener. I went from an 80k a year marketing job to gardening in his house, and I was like... At the same time, he also promised me money to invest in a swimwear company that I was working on and a few other things. So I was like, I don't want to completely burn bridges. Anyway, at the time, I was using his gym to film all my content for my online program. So I kind of still was getting some benefit from it at the same time. But I'd essentially gone from thinking I had the dream job lined up where I was going to be cooking, making my own content, cooking for them, PTing them, and it was all going to go hand in hand, to raking the fucking garden.
So what was the gardener's salary?
Oh, God. I don't even know. £15 an hour, maybe something like that.
So 80 grand a year to £15 an hour.
Yeah.
Like that.
That's so bad. I've never actually thought of it like that. That is shocking, isn't it?
That is shocking. Especially, when you, because like I used to work in media myself. I was in advertising planning.
Yeah.
But I wasn't as lucky as you, Temps. Like I was on my first media job at 26. So the age that you started doing all this, I was on 16 grand a year.
Bloody hell.
Okay, and I've talked about this before. Like, if you live in London and you're on 16 grand a year, you don't live in London.
No.
You live in your flat. You maybe go to McDonald's, and then you live, and that's you and your job, and that's it. I couldn't do anything.
Well, I did an internship straight out of university, and I had to live in Egham. So I was working in Slough.
Where is Egham?
Egham's in Surrey. It's actually a really, really nice place near Royal Holloway University. And I had to club together with 6 other people who were on this internship, and we rented this house. And I was living in the dining room, somebody was in the garage, and that was what we had to do to afford it.
Yeah.
Because I was on 15 grand for the first year. Luckily, then I got on the graduate program, they doubled it, and then from there you're on some sort of management scheme. So it just kept going on and on and on and on and on. So, but what I found with it, it gave you enough just to keep you with the company.
Yes, but there was never like a big, massive growth, so you could get and build your salary and build your career that fast.
So when I was like earning good money, but it wasn't enough to keep me satisfied and happy in the job, I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to take this opportunity.
Because it was spreadsheet after PowerPoint.
Literally, that's what it is.
And then kissing client ass all the way through.
Yeah.
Wow. So, because I remember when I first moved to London, when I was on that, I got up to 18k on the next rung of the ladder, and I moved to Finsbury Park on Blackstock Road. And the day after I moved in, I came downstairs, opened the door, and there was a police sign outside the door. I lived at 8A, murder at 8C, any information.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just that. So, like, London's like, and I suppose in any big city, it's a weird trajectory. You start really at the bottom, and you realize you're at the bottom, and it's a stressful, lonely, kind of sad time. And then you start building up, and then you start building contacts and learning London, and then trying to the places to go, and then it becomes fun. So then.
But what's even more depressing is moving home at 27 to live with your parents in Portsmouth where there's nothing going on. And I'd been living a good life in London.
And no prospect.
Yeah, no prospects. Literally no prospects.
So then tell everyone that Temps, right? Because like I'm aware of you. Tell us about the TikTok and how you built that up. So just give us a quick jump from when you were the gardener to now.
So what actually happened is I carried on gardening for him, and he went away to Miami, had a PT for 2 weeks, and he realised the benefit of it, and he came back, and we had a bit of an argument, and this guy, everyone just doesn't say anything to him because he owns most of Portsmouth. Everyone wants to be his friend because he's got loads of money, and I was like, fuck that. I was like, look, you said you were going to I was going to be a PT. Let's at least PT together. Anyway, came back, and I actually did PT him for well over a year. Another story off the back of that, he goes away for the summer.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to Spain for a month. I'm not going to need a PT. And I was like, well, do you want me to come with you? And he's like, no, it's fine. So I took a month off to go to California. 5 days after he went to Spain, he was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. Came back, got another PT without telling me. So I was lording it up in California, spending all my money. And then like a week before I was supposed to come back and PT him again, I was like, just checking in. We good to go PTing again? Ignored me. Got back. He was like, oh, I've got another PT now.
Why?
Because he's got so much money, he could do what he wants.
Yeah,
so he does what he wants.
It's lack of loyalty then.
Yeah. So then from there, I was like, fuck this, I'm done with this guy. Blocked, deleted on everything. Moved back to London. My mate was living in Harrow, and he was like, look, I can put you up in this room for a little bit while you get yourself back on your feet. Bearing in mind at this point, and this wasn't even too long ago, it's probably like 3 years ago, 10 grand in debt, didn't have anything to my name, had to move back to London. And I just did a TV show. So it's called The Big Audition. It was a behind the scenes look at the casting world. So I went for a job as a TV presenter for Filippo Berio, which is an olive oil brand.
Which, funnily enough, when I worked in media, I did their advertising.
No way.
Yeah, I planned their advertising campaigns.
That's jokes.
Yeah.
No way. Yeah, so I did that. I'm a producer's dream. They said, can you cook and take your top off? So I did that, took my top off. And then,
PT,
because,
you can cook, there you
well,
go.
yeah,
Rip
and then
it
it
off.
took 6 months before that came out. So I started making content as the shirtless chef. The show came out. It didn't do too well, but TikTok saw what I was doing and said, can you bring this onto the platform?
TikTok talk to you about doing that.
Yeah, because they were
Amazing.
trying to diversify their portfolio because
Well
there was a lot of singing and dancing and lip syncing.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get chefs and PTs and cooks and stuff on there. So they paid me £110 to create an account, post 3 videos. The first few blew up, and ever since then I've just been posting on TikTok.
Wow. So how many followers, likes, type thing?
I've got 600,000 followers on it now.
600,000 on TikTok.
Yeah, 15 million likes on it.
Can you tell everyone your handles? There?
Yeah, so it's Temptation. Temp, TEMP_tation, TATION.
Mate, well done. That is an absolutely amazing
And then everything
story.
it kind of compounds. Like, I'm the sort of person who just keeps going and going and going, even when I was like fucked, basically. And then I got a job as head trainer at F45. I was coinciding it with the
Which
content.
F45 are you head trainer on?
It was Highgate, so Hampstead Heath, pretty affluent area.
Yeah, nice.
Brand new gym, so I was able to get to know all the members.
This is the thing. Like the biggest tip I've said, I can't remember which episode I said this on. This is my biggest tip for new PTs is teach boutique classes.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with people, learn how to queue, and make them comfortable with you. They develop trust, and then your client base just soars.
100%. I did it all because I did online PTing first, and then went into one-to-one, and then did group fitness.
Yeah.
So I'd rather you need to go group fitness, as you say. You get to see 150, 200 people a day. That's 200 different techniques. That's 200 different cues and techniques,
so
whatever.
You just hone your skills because you get those people in class. You'll get a me and you who know how to move and train, and you're just like, I just want to get on with it. And then you'll get someone who doesn't know which one is their left arm and what is their foot. Like you see in a movie, like, I told you to move your arm, and they're just like moving the right foot. You're like, what are you doing? But yeah, that is my biggest tip. That's an amazing story, Dave. So, and is it always been plain sailing since the TikTok, or has it been like,
and so
crash up?
There was another up and down. So I had 170 people on an online program that was running over 12. It was a decent amount of money.
Yeah,
that
nice.
was running.
Where is your mansion?
Yeah, you'll find out why now. And then this opportunity with F45 came along. Like, obviously didn't know that COVID was going to happen. Signed this contract with F45. Took my eye off the ball with the online stuff. So that online base literally went to nothing after the 12 weeks had finished. And then we went into lockdown, and then the money that I was earning from F45 was like pennies compared to what it was supposed to be.
Did you get furlough?
Didn't get furlough, no. So I was having to rely on the TikTok stuff, which...
So that's brand work for you?
Yes. Well, so I think when I moved in with my friend, when I come back from Portsmouth, I hadn't even had 100,000 followers. Started the job at F45. That went into lockdown, so they closed the gym. And then I really started focusing on the TikTok stuff. So nobody was on it at the time. So whatever I was doing, every video was getting like hundreds of thousands of views. And that following was growing pretty quickly. TikTok did hashtag learn on TikTok as a campaign. And they paid me like a lot of money to do, I think it was 30 videos in total over sort of like a 6-7 month period. So that literally kept me afloat. Because I was getting money in from the TikTok stuff, it was allowing me to not have to look for other work. So I was putting all my effort into creating content, which then just saw it go from strength to strength, and I built that following up.
Great.
So I'm a massive believer in everything happens for a reason, and it has along my journey. It's obviously shit when stuff doesn't work out, but there's always different avenues. So now I've learned that, like, you can't just PT, you can't just do content. You've got to have fingers in all sorts of different pies.
You do have to be a master of all, exactly.
Yeah.
And editing.
Literally, yeah.
Just everything. Editing, writing, creating. You got to be able to produce, set the cameras up, like it's full on. And
it's so time consuming. And you don't realise the importance of, and this is where the fitness side of it comes into it. Like even today, coming before this podcast, I've been on my laptop and my phone all day, and I was like, I need to get buzzing for this because you want to give your best self across, don't you? And that's where, like, if you do a workout before doing things like this, or the fitness side of stuff just keeps you on the ball with the creativity side.
Of course. Mate, amazing story. I will always remember the Temps became a gardener story. And for the future, is there anything we should be expecting from you, Temps? Anything you can tell us that you're going to be doing? Anything exciting?
I think there's going to be a lot of TV stuff coming up this year. I'm on a dating show at the moment, which airs until the 22nd of January. And then, I've got a game show that I've been asked to do. Other stuff that I can't talk about yet. But just what I'm looking for is getting the balance. Like, I don't like PTing all day, every day, because you can't give your all to everyone when you're doing 8 sessions a day. Yeah. I do 3 group sessions a week and 1 PT client, and that's enough for me.
Yeah.
the rest of it, I can educate a wider audience of people through the platform that I've got. And yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, this year I want to earn money. I've done a lot of stuff for the enjoyment, and now I'm looking at how I can leverage what I've got.
So you've built the base now.
Yeah, and now
it's time to kick on.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I listening to you talk, Tem, so I imagine you want to be a presenter.
I'd love to be a presenter.
Right. I can see you on the box presenter, mate.
Yeah.
The cheeky chappy. Mate, thank you for coming on the PT Chronicles podcast. That's been amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.